Ilia Topuria isn't just one of the most explosive names in MMA, he's becoming one of the wealthiest too. From luxury homes in Spain to high-end cars, sponsorship deals, international travel, and a lifestyle built around discipline and status, Topuria's financial world is expanding fast. Today, we break down the houses, the cars, the money, the brand, and the empire Ilia is building outside the cage. Ilia Topuria's story doesn't begin with fame, luxury, or championship headlines. It begins in a small Georgian village, inside a hardworking family that valued discipline more than anything money could buy. When Ilia was a child, his family left Georgia for Spain, searching for better opportunities and a safer future. That move changed everything, because Spain didn't just give Ilia a new home. It gave him the environment that shaped the wealthy, high-profile athlete he is today. Growing up in Alicante, Ilia lived a life that blended two cultures: the toughness of his Georgian roots and the structured lifestyle of Spain. He wasn't rich, but he wasn't directionless either. He grew up in a supportive family that encouraged ambition, self-belief, and discipline, the three pillars that now define his success. And it's this mix of humble beginnings and strong foundations that makes Ilia's current wealth even more fascinating. Because everything he owns today, every car, every property, every sponsorship, was built from a mindset forged long before the money arrived. Ilia Topuria's rise in wealth didn't happen overnight. It happened through a calculated combination of performance, branding, and timing. Unlike many fighters who slowly climb their way into financial stability, Ilia's earnings accelerated sharply the moment he became a breakout name. As his fan base in Spain and Georgia exploded, so did the numbers behind his contract. And that's when the real money started flowing. His UFC earnings became the foundation: base purses, win bonuses, and performance incentives that stack up quickly when you're winning. Sources estimate that he crossed into the million-dollar bracket as his popularity skyrocketed, especially once Spain fully embraced him as their new pride in mixed martial arts. But the truth is, the UFC checks are only one piece of the financial puzzle. Ilia's sponsorship income may actually be the more impressive part of his earnings. Topuria is one of the rare fighters who appeals to two national markets simultaneously. Spanish brands want him because he represents discipline, modern athleticism, and the rise of MMA in Europe. Georgian brands want him because he symbolizes national pride, resilience, and global recognition. That dual market advantage means higher sponsorship rates, more offers, and wider international leverage. His brand deals span training gear, apparel, nutrition, wellness companies, and international sports brands. These partnerships don't just pay up front. They open doors for long-term collaborations, recurring revenue, and business opportunities. This is the type of income that elevates fighters from earning well to building wealth. But it goes deeper. Ilia's social media presence has become a monetized platform with millions of followers across regions. Every post, every training clip, every luxury photo shoot increases his market value. And unlike many fighters who focus on the US market, Ilia strategically leans on the European lifestyle aesthetic: clean photography, stylish locations, travel content, family imagery, all of which raise his appeal to premium brands. His current estimated net worth sits between $2 to $3 million, but that number is growing fast. Sponsors are lining up, fight purses are climbing, and his European crossover appeal gives him a financial trajectory very few fighters can replicate. Ilia Topuria didn't just become rich by fighting. He became rich by understanding how to look like a champion, market like a champion, and live like a champion, long before he officially became one. And that mindset shows even more clearly when you look at how he actually lives day to day. Ilia Topuria's lifestyle in 2025 is a refined blend of athlete discipline and European luxury, creating an image that's both aspirational and intentional. This isn't the lifestyle of someone who wastes money to look rich. It's the lifestyle of someone who invests money to stay elite. Everything about the way Ilia lives, where he stays, what he buys, how he trains, reflects a young millionaire building his brand with precision. His home base in Alicante, Spain, is where his disciplined routine meets coastal comfort. The environment is calm, warm, and scenic, giving him the mental space to train at the highest level while enjoying a standard of living built around sunlight, clean food, and athletic focus. His residences are modern, airy, stylish, nothing gaudy, nothing excessive, but undeniably high-end. Mediterranean Italian architecture, palm-lined neighborhoods, quiet luxury, a fighter's base disguised as a lifestyle influencer's dream home. Training remains the foundation of his daily life. Mornings start with structured workouts, striking, grappling, cardio sessions, mobility, conditioning. He invests heavily in recovery, ice baths, saunas, physio visits, cupping, massage therapy. These are luxury expenses that double as career insurance. Ilia knows that every euro spent on recovery today is multiplied in future earnings. And because he often trains internationally, he spends parts of the year in high-end gyms in Las Vegas, Georgia, or Dubai, each trip doubling as content and branding. But the lifestyle extends far beyond the gym. Topuria enjoys travel with a level of ease that reflects wealth. Frequent Spain to US flights, business-class seats, luxury hotels, and sleek European rentals. In Spain, he's often seen driving premium SUVs and performance cars, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, vehicles that match his identity without stepping into unnecessary flash. His social life mirrors his personality, balanced, family-oriented, yet stylish and polished. Photo shoots near the coast, fine dining with friends, luxury cafes, and small upscale gatherings show a different type of fighter lifestyle, one that feels cultured rather than chaotic. He lives like someone who understands how to present himself to the world, calm, confident, expensive, but never wasteful. And that's the secret behind Ilia's lifestyle. It's not about showing wealth. It's about living like someone who's building something bigger than wealth, a future brand, a future empire, a future legacy. But to understand the full scale of his financial world, we need to look at the assets he owns and the cars and real estate that define his millionaire identity. Ilia Topuria's car collection isn't a parade of 20 supercars or a warehouse full of exotic toys. Instead, it's something far more interesting, a carefully curated set of vehicles that reflect the exact type of identity he's building: conservative, powerful, stylish, and unmistakably European. The cars he drives match the tone of his lifestyle: modern, understated, intelligent. This is not a fighter trying to show off wealth. This is a millionaire building a brand that feels mature and premium. Let's start with the car most closely tied to his public image: the Mercedes-Benz G-Class, the G-Wagon. It's the perfect blend of rugged athleticism and high-end prestige. In Spain, the G-Wagon isn't just a car. It's a cultural symbol of success, a way to announce financial presence without saying a word. Ilia has been seen using variations of the G-Wagon for travel, media appearances, and daily movement in Alicante. It's powerful enough for any terrain, but luxurious enough for brand partnerships and social media features. Then you have the Porsche SUVs, particularly the Cayenne and Macan models, cars that represent German engineering at its best: sporty, fast, and refined. Ilia's lifestyle revolves around high-performance living, so it makes sense he gravitates toward vehicles built for speed and smoothness. These types of cars mirror Ilia's own style inside the cage: explosive when needed, but controlled and technical at every moment. Another vehicle frequently linked to Ilia's public travels is the Range Rover Sport, a staple in Spain for athletes, entrepreneurs, and entertainers. Range Rovers carry a certain prestige in European culture. They're quiet, powerful, and elegant. They're not loud, they're not flashy. But when you see someone step out of one, you know they're successful. That's exactly why Ilia fits this car so well. He's not trying to prove anything. His presence already speaks for itself. Ilia also uses premium rentals during training camps in the US, Dubai, or Georgia. These rentals often include Tesla models, BMW M Series, and high-end Mercedes sedans. These aren't about showing off, they're about functionality, comfort, and traveling at a level that supports an elite athlete's body. But what makes Ilia's car lifestyle unique is how he treats these vehicles. They're not trophies, they're tools. Tools for content, tools for travel, tools for mobility between gyms, events, airports, and homes. And because Ilia's brand is global, Spain, Georgia, US, he needs vehicles that represent prestige without being excessive. The cars he drives are a direct extension of his psychology: understated power, European precision, luxury without arrogance. It's the perfect balance, and it fits the next chapter of his wealth perfectly, because Ilia's real financial engine comes from something much deeper than cars. To understand Ilia Topuria's wealth, you have to understand the structure of his earnings, because Ilia isn't someone who burns through money or waits for big paydays to feel successful. He's someone who built his entire brand around stability, consistency, and strategic growth. And that's exactly why his net worth is rising fast. His UFC income serves as the backbone. The moment Ilia entered the spotlight, his earnings jumped dramatically. His base pay has risen from early career numbers into solid six-figure paydays, with the potential for even bigger figures as he continues to climb. But the real money comes from the add-ons: bonuses for performance, win bonuses, discretionary locker room bonuses, and sometimes back-end payments linked to viewership or promotional value. These bonuses can turn a $150,000 night into a $300,000 night instantly. Then there's his sponsorship income, and this is where things truly become interesting. Ilia sits in a unique position. He represents two nations. Spain claims him proudly. Georgia claims him even more fiercely. That means he's tapped into two of the most loyal fan bases in the sport. European brands see him as a crossover star with potential influence across Spain, France, Italy, and Germany. Georgian brands see him as a national symbol capable of elevating their companies globally. This dual market influence increases his sponsorship value dramatically. Ilia works with European sportswear brands, international supplement companies, Spanish athletic and wellness brands, combat gear companies, lifestyle brands who want a clean, class-driven athlete as their face. These deals can easily match, and sometimes exceed, his fight income. And unlike many fighters who rely solely on cage-side income, Ilia's endorsement portfolio is stable, predictable, and growing. Brands love that he presents himself as disciplined, stylish, grounded, and family-oriented. He's not a chaotic personality. He's marketable. That alone builds wealth faster than many fighters realize. Add to this his social media influence, millions of followers across platforms, which unlocks a steady stream of sponsored content, appearance fees, and cross-promotional opportunities. And here's the most underestimated part. Ilia is smart with his money. He doesn't post luxury shopping sprees. He doesn't announce giant purchases impulsively. Instead, he invests into training, recovery, nutrition, travel infrastructure, long-term brand visibility. Everything he spends leads to more earning potential. Ilia isn't just making money from fighting. He's building a financial foundation through discipline, branding, and global appeal. But next, it's where his real long-term wealth begins. Because Ilia's future doesn't end with combat sports. Ilia Topuria is not just a fighter. He's a future entrepreneur being built in real time. His lifestyle, spending choices, brand image, and public behavior reveal a mindset that goes far beyond a typical athlete's. He thinks like someone planning for the next decade, not the next fight. And that's where the foundation of his long-term wealth is forming. His first major advantage is cultural positioning. Ilia is one of the few UFC fighters with powerful influence in both Western Europe and the Caucasus region. That means he can expand into Spanish markets, which love clean aesthetics, fashion, lifestyle, and luxury, and Georgian markets, which value athletic heroes, national pride, and resilient personalities. This dual appeal gives him leverage no other fighter in his division has. His second advantage is brandability. Ilia has what companies call a universal profile: charismatic, serious, humble, articulate, good-looking, stylish, and globally appealing. This opens the door for future fitness, clothing lines, training and performance brands, European nutrition companies, gyms and academies, real estate ventures, media content platforms. He could become one of the few fighters whose brand outgrows the sport. His third advantage is financial discipline, something that sets him apart from fighters who burn through income before they ever reach their financial prime. Ilia rarely flaunts expensive purchases. He reinvests into himself, a strategy that compounds growth over time. His fourth advantage is geographical flexibility. Ilia can live in Spain, train in the US, recover in Dubai, and manage business in Georgia. That global mobility allows him to access opportunities across international markets, sponsorships, partnerships, investments, and eventually even his own brand expansions. But perhaps the most interesting part of Ilia's wealth is the one he hasn't fully revealed yet: investments. Thanks to his disciplined persona and his family-oriented values, it's clear Ilia is preparing for long-term financial plays: real estate holdings, business partnerships, franchising opportunities, and fitness ventures. He's building an empire in silence, not through flashy displays, not through reckless spending, but through structure, strategy, and global positioning. And this approach will eventually separate him from the majority of fighters whose financial lives peak early and decline fast. Ilia is building a foundation that can last decades, long after the fighting career ends. He's not building fame, he's building value. He's not chasing attention, he's chasing legacy. And in the next chapters, his future becomes even clearer. On the surface, Ilia Topuria's life looks smooth, polished, and perfectly aligned. A young millionaire athlete living between Spain's coastlines, global training centers, premium gyms, and a growing fleet of luxury cars. But beneath the shine is something far more complex. The pressure that comes with being a rising international star, whose financial world grows larger every single year. The truth is, wealth for fighters is very different from wealth for traditional celebrities. Fighters don't have guaranteed contracts, annual salaries, or ironclad financial protection. Every dollar Ilia earns is created through risk. Risk to his body, risk to his career, risk to his long-term health. And that means every financial decision he makes has weight behind it. Travel alone is a massive expense. Ilia moves constantly between Spain, Georgia, the US, Dubai, and anywhere elite camps take him. Each trip comes with costs: premium flights, high-end rental cars, hotel accommodations, short-term apartments, specialists, diets, and coaches. These are the invisible expenses fans never see. And because Ilia aims for the highest performance possible, he invests heavily in everything from physiotherapy to nutrition plans. Training camps are even more expensive. A full camp for a top fighter can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Money spent on sparring partners, strength coaches, recovery tools, supplements, meals, and medical treatments. Ilia understands that these aren't optional costs. They're investments. They're the price of staying elite. Then there's the pressure of being a national symbol. In Spain, Ilia is becoming a major sports figure, not just a fighter. In Georgia, he represents pride and national identity. That means he carries two countries on his shoulders, two audiences with high expectations, two cultures that see him as their champion. With that comes responsibility, attention, and the demand to behave, speak, and live like someone who carries that torch. Financially, that also means Ilia cannot afford reckless moments. He can't be the fighter who squanders his fortune. He can't be the athlete who loses discipline. His image is currency: clean, controlled, powerful. And maintaining that image costs time, energy, and long-term focus. Even sponsorships come with pressure. Once brands see you as a premium figure, you must continue living that level of lifestyle. You must look the part. You must present the part. And that means Ilia's lifestyle, the cars, the homes, the travel, is simultaneously a privilege and a responsibility. But Ilia handles this pressure with the same discipline that defines his career. He uses structure to create stability. He uses minimalism to avoid unnecessary chaos. He uses family as grounding. He invests in recovery to avoid burnout. He treats his wealth not like a toy, but like a future. Because for Ilia, pressure isn't a burden, it's fuel. And the bigger the pressure becomes, the bigger he builds the life around it. Ilia Topuria's financial rise is impressive, but what's even more impressive is how much bigger it's going to get. Because Ilia is entering the most explosive stage of his brand growth, and the decisions he makes now will shape his wealth for the next decade. And unlike many fighters who think only about their next purse, Ilia is thinking in terms of empire. His first major avenue for future wealth is long-term sponsorship expansion. European companies love clean-cut, disciplined athletes with global potential, and Ilia fits that profile perfectly. As his fame rises, so will his rate card. Where he earned 5 figures for sponsorships before, he'll soon command 6-figure brand deals. Nutrition companies, athletic apparel brands, luxury European fashion, Mediterranean lifestyle brands, they all align with Ilia's aesthetic. Then comes gym franchises and coaching academies. Most fighters open a single gym. Ilia can open chains, one in Spain, one in Georgia, one in the US. These gyms won't just be training centers, they'll be lifestyle hubs, recovery rooms, sauna systems, physio centers, centers, branded apparel, digital coaching subscriptions. Ilia's name has weight. He can build a training empire. Next is real estate, the safest and smartest investment for athletes. With his income rising, Ilia is perfectly positioned to begin building a real estate portfolio. Apartments along Spain's Mediterranean coast, homes in Alicante, and future development opportunities in Georgia. Real estate builds generational wealth quietly. Property grows even when careers slow. Ilia also has massive potential in digital business. He already has millions of followers. If he launches a fitness app, a training course, a mindset program, branded merch, digital memberships, his income becomes global, passive, and scalable. Another major opportunity lies in European celebrity branding. Ilia can move into Spanish talk shows, appearances, commercial endorsements, fashion events, and even brand ambassadorships with luxury companies. Spain loves crossover athletes, and Ilia, with his clean aesthetic and controlled confidence, is perfect for that world. Finally, Ilia could expand into investments and equity stakes. Instead of just promoting brands, he can own pieces of them. That's how great athletes create long-term wealth, not by getting paid once, but by owning something that pays forever. The future of Ilia Topuria's wealth is not just bright, it's explosive. He's not on track to be another fighter who made some money. He's on track to become a European sports mogul. And all of this leads to the final question. What kind of legacy is Ilia actually building? Ilia Topuria's story is not just about money. It's not just about cars or homes or sponsorships. It's about a young athlete shaping a future that stretches far beyond competition. A future where wealth becomes the foundation, not the finish line. Ilia is building a legacy with layers. The first layer is national pride. Two countries, Spain and Georgia, see him as their symbol of hope, strength, and discipline. That type of influence lasts decades. Children in both nations grow up watching him, imitating him, learning from him. His legacy won't just be athletic, it will be cultural. The second layer is business influence. The way he builds wealth now will determine how people remember him later. If Ilia opens academies, launches brands, and invests into businesses, he becomes more than a fighter. He becomes an entrepreneur whose name continues to generate income long after retirement. The third layer is family legacy. Ilia is deeply connected to his family. His success isn't about personal status. It's about creating a stable life for those close to him and building an environment where he can eventually give back, support younger fighters, and uplift communities. The fourth layer is global identity. Ilia is not defined by one flag. He is a hybrid identity. Georgian roots, Spanish refinement, global discipline. This makes him relatable to millions across cultures. That global identity gives him long-term opportunities that typical athletes never reach. Ambassador roles, international campaigns, brand partnerships that transcend languages. But the final layer, the most important one, is discipline. Ilia's legacy will be defined by how he used discipline to create wealth and how he used wealth to build a life filled with opportunity instead of chaos. Many athletes rise fast, earn fast, and crash fast. Ilia refuses to follow that path. His entire lifestyle, clean, structured, intentional, is proof that he's building something that lasts. And when history looks back on Ilia Topuria, it won't just see a fighter. It will see a man who built himself from two cultures, two nations, and one relentless vision. A man who used discipline to carve a future far bigger than fame. A man who turned wealth into legacy. Ilia Topuria is not just rising. He's building an empire. One asset, one investment, one disciplined day at a time.